Hi, I'm Raborn Johnson for Sample Library Review, and today I'm checking out Elements Modern Scoring Synth by 0G. Elements Modern Scoring Synth is the latest release from the creator of the fantastic ETHERA series, Stefano Maccarelli. With over 8,500 samples across a plethora of instruments, Elements Modern Scoring Synth follows in the footsteps of the ETHERA series by once again delivering a complete composer's toolkit within a single contact instrument. Elements Modern Scoring Synth weighs in at approximately 23 gigabytes across 8,500 samples. Along with 500 snapshot presets, there are three multi-sampled contact instruments: a full version, a light version that uses less processing and memory, and an audio import version to allow you to import your own custom samples. So those of you who are familiar with the ETHERA series from 0G will be very familiar with the engine that you're seeing here, although the Elements Modern Scoring Synth, the engine has been updated, it's changed, it adds a little bit more sound design capabilities, but it still comes from the wonderful, wonderful work of Stefano Maccarelli, who I have just grown to love as a sound designer. His ETHERA series is just really second to none in complete composer toolkits. And that's really what you have here in Elements Modern Scoring Synth. This is really a complete scoring toolkit is what I would say. Even more than a synth, it's really a complete scoring toolkit. What you'll find within the engine itself, there's three different engines, actually, three different contact instruments. There's a full version, which we're going to be using today. There's a light version, which is a little bit easier on your CPU and your memory, doesn't require quite as much processing power. And there's an Elements audio import version, which allows you to import your own samples into layer 3 so that you can use the sound design engine in addition to your own samples. We're going to look at the presets today. There's 500 of them across 22 categories, spanning just about everything you can think of. And what's really cool is the instruments here, many of them were performed live, and so the actual performance itself was captured, and not just samples of individual notes, but the actual performance, which you're going to see in many of these samples. It was actually tempo synced to your DAW, which just makes it, incredibly useful and just really brings out an organic feel to your tracks. The engine itself has just a lot of different sound design capabilities. We'll get into that a little bit later on, but really you'll want to dig into that one probably a little more outside the context of this video, as there's just a lot to kind of wrap your head around. So it's based on this 3-layer sound design engine, which again was, if you're familiar with the ETHERA series, you will have seen this before. But let's go ahead and start out with some of the presets. We're definitely not going to be able to touch them all, as you can see. I mean, they just go on and on, but we're just going to kind of skim the surface of each category to give you a feel for what you'll find here. So starting out, let's go ahead and start with the bass sequences. Let's just jump on, let's try number 5 here. And again, one of the things you'll notice, of course, as I'm playing these sequences, is they're really not made for live play. They're more for, programming in your DAW, but really, really great sequences that can really hold up the bottom end of your track. Let's check out this one. A little more distorted there, which is nice. Let's do one more sequence. One thing you'll notice as I play, sometimes you'll see that the volume tacks out a little bit. You'll want to really play with the volume slider. Some of the, because of the range of instruments that's within this engine, the volume can definitely vary. So just kind of watch that as you're playing along. All right, let's jump down. Let's try one of the bass Arps. Ooh, a vocoder. Let's try that one. That's pretty cool right there. I like that. All right, and jumping down, let's try one of the 16th patterns. Very CSI, industrial tension inspired. Let's do one of the playables, and they actually scroll down below what you can see on my screen. So they just keep going all the way down to number 50. I don't know if you could hear that or not. It's pretty low, especially if you're listening on your computer or on your TV. So probably put on headphones to hear some of this. Let's jump to the raw cello samples. Now these are actually, again, these are not processed like what you'll see over here. So the great thing about that is you can add your own reverb, your own delay, to really tailor the sound to your liking. There's a lot of different things here that you'll see that are tempo synced. You can see here that it actually tells you what the original BPM was when this was recorded. But let's just dive in and see what we've got. Looks like this one's going from soft to loud and back to soft again. So let's try it out. That's really nice. I love the raw sound of that. Let's try one of these looped cellos. Really nice. And let's jump down to, let's try the staccato. Kind of wild, very distorted sounding. Let's see, let's try this half staccato. And let's try one of these patterns. All right, and let's jump down into, let's try these harmonics. Harmonics 1 plus 2. Let's see what we've got there. All right, let's jump over to the processed. Oh, now this is interesting. You've got a lot of combinations here. You've got cello and flute, cello sustained piano, cello and vocals. Let's try the cello and vocals. That sounds interesting. When you hold that out, you can really hear those vocals underneath. I like that. Oops. Let's try the one with the piano. I think that might be better with just held chords. Let's try that. And it just keeps going. Let's see here. Oh, it's still going. Wow. How about the cello half plus a fourth plus an arp? Nice. All right, let's try the distorted cello. I really like those patterns. How they just, you can play with them and then you can hold them out and really fill them. Let's try this just cello and piano. And let's do the cello drone. Ooh, you could do some really cool industrial sounding stuff with that. Really nice. All right, let's jump to the keys. And you're going to see an old felt piano. Now, this is, I'm actually really impressed with this one. It just has a really nice feel to it. I mean, I would not have expected that to be in this library. It's just really nice. Let's try the piano ethereal. I love the aftertouch on that sound. Just keeps ringing. I really like that. Ooh, let's jump down to the Interstellar Organ. We all should know what to expect there, I think. Oh, I like that. That actually sounds a whole lot like what you would expect it to. Very much like the movie. I like that a lot. All right, let's try one of these key sequences. And you know what? That sounds exactly like the ticking clock from Interstellar in the docking sequence. You could actually use that sound underneath the organ and almost recreate that track entirely. That is really cool. All right, let's jump down to key multi-sequence. Let's see what we've got there. It's a really inspiring sound. I like that. You can get lost in here. There's just so much. Muffled key. Let's try that. I get stuck on keys, guys. I love keys. So I'll force myself to move on in a moment. All right, one more. Let's jump down to, let's try one of these Arps. All right, so let's go to the sequences. me, trying to play two keys in perfect sequence is not always a good idea. Let's jump to the synth multi-sequence. That was a little better time there. All right, let's try out one more of these. How about synth loop? Ooh, that's a really cool percussive sounding synth loop. I really like that. All right, how about the actual synths? Let's try a soft synth first. Really nice, soft, gentle sound. Let's jump to airplane. That's really cool. Now I know why he calls it airplane. All right, let's jump down to dark synth. One more. Let's do... Gosh, there's just so many. It's like you just want to keep going, but there's only so much time. How about this Arps short synth? All right, let's go to the classical guitar. Let's see what we have here. And again, these are some of those organically sampled instruments. Let's try one of the Arps. try that with 4 notes. I kept saying, let's try it with 4 notes, and I kept hitting 3, huh? Let's see here. Let's jump, oops. Let's jump to bow guitar. Really nice. Gosh, that's really cool. I could see doing a lot of interesting things with that. How about guitar cluster? All right, let's jump to the electrics. Trying to do something syncopated there, but yeah, you get the idea. Again, your DAW is your friend. Your sequencer and your DAW is your friend. All right, let's try the electric guitar distortion. That's really cool. Could do some really cool rhythm guitar with that. Let's try another one. And one more. How about mute? All right, and moving to percussion, let's try the tribal percussion. Each note is a different loop there. Check it out. Okay. How about a beatbox? Oh, okay. It's a drum kit. I am not the best beatboxer there. How about just a loop kit? Okay, and you put them all together. Can do a lot of stuff there. All right, one more drum kit. Okay. Let's jump down to some mallets. How about the hybrid mallet? Ooh, I love that. I love the airiness in that. All right, let's try some Mallet Arps. And one more, let's try a bell arp. Actually, let's try the Tibetan bell arp. All right, and jumping down to the soundscapes, let's try a few of these. Viking Water. Let's see, doing some really cool stuff over top of that. Inspiring. Let's try that. That's nice. Maybe one more. How about Viking drone horn? Drone high horn. All right, now before we move on into the winds, we've only made it halfway through, guys. Golly, I'm gonna have to go a little faster in the second half. There's just so much in here. But just to give you a little bit of a tour of the sound design engine, you've got 3 different layers. And, you know, of course, the snapshots preload these for you, but you can also load them yourself. Tons and tons of different samples that you can use. So you can create your own sound. You have a little button here for each layer that gives you a lot of controls for each layer. You have volume controls, of course, down here for each layer along with pan. You can actually limit the key range. When you hit the learn key range, it will actually change the key range depending on what you... So for instance, like let's say I do this. I'm going to say learn key range. I'm going to hit the first key on my keyboard. And then I'm going to hit the last key on my keyboard. And you can see it's going to do that. If I was to just do a smaller range, and boom, you know, so you've got a lot of potential here to really, you know, shape the sound and keep it within the range that you want. As you go down here, you've got a stretch control that will, you know, stretch the sample, change the order of it. You've got a spectral scrub, of course, your ADSR. You've got an LFO for the second layer that controls your pitch along with offset controls. You've got, gosh, just a lot of things. I can't use this, unfortunately, to show you because this actually goes along with your DAW. And while you're playing, Well, actually, possibly could, but I don't want to risk crashing my recording here. But this is a really cool assignable table that as your DAW is playing, you can actually have this sequencer control all sorts of different effects. In addition to that, you've got glide controls, a limiter, saturation, granulizer, detune and spread. You've got individual LFOs for each layer that you can, you can either put those in free sync mode or you can sync them to a particular note division for your BPM. You can go and add things like low pass filters and, the resonance of the filter, lo-fi modes, vocoder, bandpass EQ. There's a global LFO for pitch, for speed, and for pan. You've got a really great arpeggiator here with, of course, the volume controls and the individual notes at the top, so you can create your own pattern. And of course, just like Kontakt always does, you've got all the different modes for playing the arpeggiation. And a hold mode, which I like that. If you've got a pattern going and you don't want to sit there and hold it on your keyboard, you can do that. And you've got an effects rack. The one thing I would say that I wish that you had independent effects control for each layer. Unfortunately, these are just global effects. So I've not found a way to actually assign these to the individual sounds. That's something I would like to have seen. But overall, just a whole lot of good stuff within this sound design engine that you can do. And of course, if you load the audio import, you can actually load your own audio samples into layer 3, or of course you could pick one of the ones that you see here. So let's go ahead and keep going with our tour, as it were. Let's jump to just a couple of wind sounds. I was kind of fumbling with my fingers because I don't know if you heard that first little twirl that I did. I have no idea how I did that, what I triggered. But oh my gosh, that was super cool. I'd like to figure that out. I'll have to sit and play with that. All right, let's go to Hybrid Wind. Do you hear that little kind of after breath when I hold down the keys? Listen for that. Oh, that's freaking gorgeous. I love that. All right, let's go to pads and textures. Let's try an evocative pad. That is gorgeous, 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 gorgeous. How about a little bit of guitar? Really digging these pads. Wow. One more. Particle pad. Interesting. All right, vocals. Oh, wow, Stefano, this is where I mean, he excels at sound design, period, but vocals is really where he takes it to the next level. Let's try some of these. Ethereal, it's a great description for that. Interval sync, let's see what that is. Really, really great. I always love these vocals. If you don't have the ETHERA series, you need to go check it out. There's so much of this kind of thing in there, and they're just amazingly cinematic. Oh, that's really cool. All right, let's do, let's do the Baba sequence. Let's see what that is. All right, one more. Infernal vocals. I mean, you're just not going to get that everywhere. That's just such a cool feature of Stefano's libraries. Here's some sound design stuff, just a little bit of stuff here for us. Let's try the swoosh and hit. Oh, and I bet each key does something differently. Let's try that. And let's go to the glitch kit. I just finished an album that I really could have used some of those sounds in. That's super cool. Let's go to the reverses. Low pulsing. I'm going to play that a little higher. That's really, really, really cool. I love that sound. I wish I could star that. I could see doing some really cool stuff with that. Reverse keys. One more. about reverse guitar? I mean, that makes for a really cool sound design feature. Organic? Let's try the bow. Let's try the organic sequence. It's got cello 8ths legato, synth bass sequence, and another synth sequence. That's another thing, you know, about something like this is you can really see how the sounds are built, you know, so that you can go in and try and recreate some things. I will say the one thing about this I did notice is some of the samples, you know, you would have a really difficult time recreating them in the engine because they were based on live performances. So you're not going to be able to recreate that live performance per se. So you do have to find the right sample for certain situations, but you know, you can see that you can layer these and definitely create your own presets as well. One more of the organic time stretching. Let's try that. Okay. Pulsing. I love pulses. I'm sure you guys do too. And let's try a pulse hard. All right. Let's jump to distorted reality to one of the sequences. I mean, gosh, the inspiration for tracks here. You just kind of want to stop recording and get to creating a track. Wow, friends, that might be my favorite sound of the night. Dear me, I love that. Distorted reality, distorted blade. That's awesome. All right, panning texture. Got on headphones, you can hear that playing around between your ears. How about panning sequence? All right, last category, experimental. Let's try ascending. Let's see what these are all about. Really, really nice underscore there. River. I mean, can't you just hear that under a scene? Looks like there's air and two waters that have been combined. Two samples of water or underwater, I'm not sure exactly. Just really, really cool. Hard cluster. All right, one more. I know, we have to stop somewhere, right? Broken guitar. Okay, we'll do one more. How about Inception? And friends, that is Elements Modern Scoring Synth. Tons and tons of layers and depth and dimension here. The 500 presets really give you a ton to work into your tracks. Great stuff for underscore, great stuff for scoring to picture, great stuff for production tracks, just great all around. There's so much in here that you can use, so much useful stuff. You know, some of the controls, I mean, they can be a little bit challenging to figure out. I mean, there's a lot here, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. It just means you really need to stick with the manual and check it out and make sure that you dig as deep as you possibly can. So anyway, I would encourage you, especially if you like the ETHERA series, check it out. If you have never listened to the ETHERA series, stop what you're doing and go do that right now. I think you're really going to enjoy Elements Modern Scoring if you are into that same kind of genre and that same kind of toolkit. It's an excellent tool, and I think you could get a lot of use out of it. Thanks for checking out Elements Modern Scoring Synth with me today. What do you think about the sounds in the engine? Is this something you would want to use in your own tracks? Comment below and let us know your thoughts. Please like the video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the channel. Also, be sure to check out SampleLibraryReview.com for more news and reviews, and also to stay in the know about weekly sales via our weekly deal compressor.